One of the best charities that you can do every day without writing a check is to live mindfully, heartfully, gratefully, lovingly acknowledging the gifts. The worst bane that has happened to modern civilization is that we have lost touch with the inner. There is something inside. There's a space inside of you, and that space is a sacred space. And in that sacred space, you don't find too much of talking being done there. Anyone who is sensitive to negative situations and circumstances has to be very careful during this period of upheavals in the world. These lines that I am reading out to you is the morning musings that I usually share with all the wonderful souls all around the world. One of the best charities that you can do every day without writing a check is to live mindfully, heartfully, gratefully, lovingly acknowledging the gifts and blessings and grace that you are always surrounded with. But to be aware of it, you need to connect to your inner awareness. Here is a few words that has flown out of that awareness. What is that? Anyone who is sensitive to negative situations. There are people in this world who are very indifferent to whatever is happening around them. But there are most people who walk their path of ethics, of a better life, of more spiritual life, morally, ethically, a good life. For them, they become extremely sensitive to negative situations, circumstances, and vibrations around. And for them, these particular words are spoken. What is it? Anyone who is sensitive to negative situations and circumstances has to be very careful during this period of upheavals in the world. Because you know that from all sides, if you really see what's happening around the world, it's nothing but a kind of a shift of consciousness from one state to yet another state. And whenever such shifts come, there are lots of upheavals, there are lots of turmoils, there are lots of traumas and things which nobody would possibly dream of seeing in their lifetime. But they do happen. They do happen around us, and it's happening now. This is also the time when, instead of becoming anxious and panic-stricken, you should spend more time in meditation and positive affirmations. This is the time. I love the words of Carl Jung when he says, when you look outside, you dream. When you look inside, you awake. To me, these words are absolutely the most beautiful spiritual revelation for any seeker in the world who is trying to seek happiness. They have to come to this understanding and perception about the path, about the destiny, about the destination. That as long as we are focused outside of us, as long as we are looking outside of us, yes, we may be seeing many things which are very beautiful, no doubt, but they don't last. They don't last. They're completely fleeting changes. It's almost like you are sitting inside a cinema hall and you are seeing a big screen on which all kinds of things are happening, but they're changing so fast until you possibly see the end of that beautiful story, whatever is being told to you. But what you see outside, what happens is that these are at times very engrossingly, very, very attractive and very much, what I'll say, at times very intriguing and can draw your attention more compulsively. But what happens? You know what had happened to your own life. The more you got focused outside, more you lost connection with your inner world. The turmoil that you see around the world today is because of one thing. Civilizations all over the world, they thought that life is outside of us. That means all the fun, all the frolic, all the happiness, everything that we are talking about is just pleasure hunting, and to hunt we need to just look outside for the prey, and that is exactly what has happened to these present day civilizations with all of humanity in the world. People forgot the basic idea about the universal principles and the universal law, that is dharma. What is dharma? It's not about religion. Dharma is not religion. It's not about Buddhism or Hinduism or Christianity or XYZ. Law that governs these multiverses. Law that governs each and every cell of our human body. Trillions of cells are functioning in my body. I really do not know what the functions are. Yet you see, I'm able to see you, you are able to see me, I'm able to talk to you, you are able to listen to me. All these functions are happening because we have cells, each perfectly in tune with the other and functioning as a beautiful, harmonious unit. That's my body. And as a result, I'm experiencing life in the external or the internal world. Now, keeping that in mind, and also that particular world, when you look outside, you dream. Yes, when you look outside, you dream, and when you look inside, you awake. The more we get used to looking outside and trying to find something out of it, only takes us away from the main core. The worst bane that has happened to modern civilization is that we have lost touch with the inner. As a result, the chasm, the gap between inner and the outer has only been more and more and more expanding, which is not a good thing to happen. As a result, the nature has to once again reorganize, readjust, so that there is a balance in this universe, there is a balance in human mind, there's a balance in human body mind, there's a balance in everything that is around us and within us. What you are seeing as a turmoil happening all over the world is nothing but the nature's own perfect way of rebalancing the humans and the other parts of the nature, all to come into a harmonic vibration of rhythmic life, of beautiful celebration. So here it is that in order to really find some purpose and meaning in everything that is happening outside of you, we need to have more and more connection to our inner life, and that inner life begins with our awareness of our physical body, of our breaths, and all these simple ways by which you can always start your meditation is just to close your eyes whenever you feel like, or even if you can keep your eyes open, but at the same time you are basically moving inward to become more conscious and aware that there is something inside of you. There is something inside. There is a space inside of you, and that space is a sacred space. And in that sacred space, you don't find too much of talking being done there. It's like not the mind which is continuously chattering, but a mind which is being observed over a period of time. When you start observing your mind, when you start observing your breath, automatically you start to be drawn into your inner core. And as a result, automatically you start to feel different. Your emotions change, your thought patterns change, your whole idea about everything around you changes, because your perception itself goes through a continual change for deeper and deeper, subtler and subtler, purer and purer, and clearer and clearer. And as a result, mind gets clarity. Mind can probe through the maze and the haze and everything that simply is nothing but the result of a cluttered mind, which is continuously being invaded by external noise and pollutions. To get rid of it, the way that we all can possibly do the biggest charity is to start meditating. That means to come back home, to come inside of us. That way you will experience more stable emotional intelligence. You can grow from within to withstand the external threats. Inner strength is the true power. This is the beauty. That way you will experience more stable emotional intelligence. You may have immense IQ. You may solve any mathematics, any problem, but your life is not just what you can do with your brain-related intelligence. Because if you, of course, give more exercise to your IQ, it automatically at some point of time will definitely increase. But what about life? Life just doesn't go with the IQ. It needs EQ too, SQ too. By EQ I mean your emotional stability. By SQ also your spiritual stability, your spiritual perception. All these are different gradations of the same consciousness being expressed at different levels of your life, perception and feelings emotionally. So that way emotional intelligence is so very important for each one of us. And most people in today's world, we find they can do multitasking, but when it comes to life, they fail miserably. And that is the reason more this turmoil is happening in the world. This is all of the time we need to come home. You need to settle down. You need to be quiet. You need to find a space between your thoughts. You need to find a space between your breaths. Thereby you'll find that space between your thoughts. And that space between your beautiful breaths is also the space which is sacred, which is holy, which is true abode of peace. Thank you so much.